Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Elden Ring. And in this one, I want to put together a handy guide on where you can get smithing shards, more specifically, unlimited smithing shards. Smithing shards are of course an item that you'll use to upgrade your weapons. Upgrading your weapons is an important part of Elden Ring. It's an important part of any of these games. And naturally, you will find some smithing shards as you're exploring the world. You loot enemies, locations, finding items just lying around. You will encounter them. And of course, later on when you get to caves, you can also farm some of the sort of mineral nodes. You will definitely get some of them. But when you get to the point where you want to upgrade a number of different weapons and you are limited by them, there is a way to get as many as you need, provided of course you have runes to buy them. So in this video, I want to go through how you can do that and how you can unlock it. So if you do enjoy this, you find it helpful, a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions, and of course keep it locked for plenty more because we've got tons of Elden Ring coverage coming your way. So to begin with, in order to do this, the way this functions is that it actually revolves around the Twin Maiden NPC from the Round Table Hold. When you interact with them for the first time, they ask if you have any bells to give them, and initially, you probably won't. But when you do get the right bell from them, you can then purchase the smithing shards that you need. So, how do you do that? What you want to do is you want to turn your attention to the location north of Limgrave. So this will be a little bit later in the game. It's still pretty early on, but it is something you will do after the first area. You need to go north to Leonia. If you run up through the lakes, you don't need to go on top of the cliffs or the mountains, despite the fact that this is placed in the mountains. This is actually a cave, so you basically want to run all the way down the lake, all the way down the river, and you get to this location here. In fact, if you get near it, there is actually a spirit candelabra you can interact with, and the spirit guide will lead you to this cave. But either way, this is where you need to go, and you basically need to work your way all the way to the very bottom of this cavern. This is basically like a mini dungeon. There is a boss at the end, the crystal boss, and when you defeat this boss, they will drop the Miner's Bell Bearing 1. Now, this is the item you need to then take back to Round Table Hold. When you take this back to that NPC and you give that to them, they will then expand their inventory and they will now sell you smithing shards 1 and 2. These are the first two ones you will need for the first chunk of weapon levels. Beyond this point, there is of course a second one. I will be doing a follow-up video on that one very soon, but for the time being, for those of you that are earlier in the game, these, the smithing stones you will initially need, and as you can see, you can buy as many as you want, provided you have the runes. So if you are missing runes, don't forget to turn your attention to the video that we made yesterday on how to farm a ton of runes incredibly quickly and easily, around 150k in an hour. So if you then go and make all of those, you can buy a ton of smithing shards, upgrade your weapons, which of course, in turn, means you can deal more damage. So that's what you need to know. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. Head to that dungeon, get to the bottom of it, defeat that boss, take that bell back to the NPC, and now you can buy your smithing shards. Again, if you guys want a link to that video on how to farm runes, click the one you see on screen right now, and do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more Elden Ring.